Question, ready to hear part 2 of batch cooking, especially for beginners? Back in a minute. Hey, this is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City Saves Money. I love to help people keep their money. And in this case, with batch cooking, I love to help people also save time, effort, energy, and even once in a while, a great deal of sanity, especially if your nerves are frazzled and you're really tired, you had a very long work day. Hopefully everybody is doing well, and thanks for being here. Okay, now let's dive a little deeply. In case you missed yesterday's video, I strongly recommend that you go back to it. It's not that long of a video, so that you could be up to par with this video. So we're going on to part 2 about batch cooking. So we already established that batch cooking is a good thing to do. And now we're going to talk about practical appliances that I recommend if you're going to batch cook. One is a good old friendly slow cooker. You can use your slow cooker at the same time that if you're using your, let's say, stove top to make a big pot of, let's say, soup, for example. I'm just saying this as an example. And in your slow cooker, you could actually be, even this, if this is on, let's say, a hot day, for example, you could be putting a chuck roast in there and turning it into a nice, soft, wonderful delicacy as far as I'm concerned. Do the chuck roast thing. So you can have a roast going on there. You can have something else going on top of your stove, and so on and so forth. And this is a great way, easy way to multitask. In the beginning of the week, I highly recommend, if you are a person that does eat eggs or you need a fast protein, boil up a few, have some hard-boiled eggs available in your fridge. That could be part of your batch cooking, by the way. Such a simple task, just like that. You could grab and go in the morning, just grab a hard-boiled egg, put a pinch of salt and pepper on it, if that's something you like. Have an instant cup of coffee for 10 cents at home. Your breakfast is done. Protein, your coffee. Hello. Want a piece of fruit? Grab a banana. How easy is that? I'm just saying, it's already done. So that could be part and considered part of your batch cooking. By utilizing your slow cooker at the same time, here's a wonderful, in my opinion, the easiest thing to do. If you make, as I call it, lazy man's lasagna, baked ziti, essentially, it's all the same components as lasagna. Let's think about it. It's a pasta. It's sauce. It's optional if you want meat or no meat. Ricotta cheese. And some people like to put vegetables if they want, or omit the vegetables, whatever. You make a whole tray of that. That's going on while you're doing that. And that's so easy. It's just really a matter of assembling. So you assemble it, and then when it's all done, what you could do is make the individual containers. Some people say that's not even the cooking that takes up a little bit of their time, and it's the packing. But just knowing that you're going to have food that you made, okay, that you have already available. Now, if you do, let's say, a pot roast, okay, batch cooking, already done. You could slice that up, divide that up, freeze that up. You want pot roast for dinner one night? Take that thing down. It's already cooked. What you're doing is heating and eating. You can make a side dish of instant mash and some canned or frozen green beans to go with it. Hello, dinner done. I don't know about you, but I like simplicity. I like uncomplicated. But I also like to have the food that I make. I like knowing. This is important to me personally. I like knowing what's in my food. I'm not a fan of mystery food. Just saying. So as far as time goes, no, you do not need a ton of pots and pans. I recommend like keeping things like a 13x9 pan, like to make the, tray of lasagna or baked ziti. This is just an example. And, your slow cooker, as I mentioned. And even, for example, let's say at the same session, if you don't want to like stand over the stove, you don't want to emit a lot of heat, you could do a big pot of chicken soup. Now, some people say, oh, it's hot. What am I doing with chicken soup? There might be days that like you feel under the weather and you wouldn't mind a bowl of homemade real deal chicken soup. Just dump everything in your slow cooker. To start that thing in the, early in the morning, putter around the house, clean your house, you got that done. That's an example of batch cooking. You don't necessarily have to batch cook for an entire week. You could choose to do that. Some people do it for 2 weeks. Some people do it for 28 days. Some people are happy with just like about a 4-day session. But the idea being, what is so great about the idea of batch cooking? The food is already available. How many nights you are under the weather? You don't want to cook. Or you get that phone call that like you didn't think was going to last 2 hours, right? Then all of a sudden it's dinner time and you're like, oh, the idea of cooking. Then you realize, wait a minute, I could take down that thing and just throw it right in the oven. I mean, I am just a very, very huge advocate of batch cooking and meal planning. Buy the food that your family likes to eat. Buy the food. If you could get that food at a better price, better still. If it doesn't happen that way, well, it doesn't happen that way. Try to cut corners as much as you can. Work with things like pastas. Pastas freeze very well. Pastas make, casseroles, they freeze very well. Just plan ahead. But the real trick is to block out, I would say, about maximum 2 to 3 hours of your time, whenever that is. Find a day that works for you, mark it on your calendar, and be ready. And have this stuff. Doesn't have to be a lot of money. A pot of soup you could do. You know what? I call this refrigerator soup. What is refrigerator soup? Refrigerator soup, for example, comes from, let's say you just accumulated a lot of fresh vegetables or whatever you had at dinner, leftovers, do-overs during the week. Comes Thursday, you don't want to throw that out. So what you do is you transform it. Okay. Some people put it in the freezer and they can just throw it into their slow cooker, and they just got themselves a few days worth of soup without any effort whatsoever. You will be happily amazed. To me, it's about streamlining. It's about investing. These things are an investment. Anything, here's the way I look at it. And I hope you follow me out on this one. Anything that prevents me, Janet, for example, from going to that phone, lifting up that phone, and avoid the temptation of calling in for a meal, that's a good thing. Because it's not just, you have to wait for it. You don't really know what's in there. I'm just saying, not to mention the tip, this, that, or whatever. So if I'm going to go through all that trouble, sometimes the delivery could take a really long time. When I know, to me, it's like food assurance. That's another thing. Food assurance. It is like a weird way of having food security. You're in control and you know what's going in your freezer. To me, all of these little things add up. By the way, before I forget, I'd love to ask you to let me know in the comment section below. Do you have any specific tips and tricks? And do you like meal planning, batch cooking? Let me know your feelings on the matter. Do you feel that it is a savings or not? This is important. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much. In the meantime, thanks for being here. And until the next time, have an amazing, fantastic day. Take good care. Bye-bye.